Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we are going to take a look at the Wicked Wizard and Lord of the Demon Realm Babidi Dabura unit at 100% in the Hidden Potential system in DBZ Dokkan Metal. Now you can get these guys by paying battlefield currency at the Baba shop, and you get that from Ultimate Clash. So these guys are a fully free-to-play unit, and they're a great free-to-play unit at that. So they have the Majin Buu Saga category Ki +3 and HP attack and defense of 130%, a pretty good leader skill. They're still one of the few extreme Majin Buu Saga category leads. Then they cause colossal damage to the enemy and seal super attack on their 12 key. They cause mega colossal enemy damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy on their ultra super attack, which is a 50% chance. Then they have Ki +3 and attack and defense of 88%, plus an additional Ki +3 and attack and defense of 40% when the target enemy is in attack down or defense down status. They also gain an additional Ki +3 and a high chance of performing a crit when the attacked enemy is stunned or the target enemy's super attack is sealed. They also have Majin Power category allies Ki +3 and attack and defense of 30%. So the interesting thing about these guys is they are a pretty solid unit, but they're only on 3 categories: Majin Buu Saga, Joined Forces, and Terrifying Conquerors. The thing is, they have great synergy with another free-to-play ally in the form of the physical Buu and Babidi unit, and that's who we'll be looking at them with. We're only going to look at them on one team, the Majin Buu Saga team, as because their partner, the free-to-play Buu and Babidi, is on Joined Forces and on Terrifying Conquerors. Essentially, you can have their best running partner as a free-to-play unit, and there's no real need to look at them on other teams. So yeah, they are pretty damn good. The one cool thing about them is, so obviously a lot of their passive is effect based. You know, if they're in attack down or defense down status on the enemy, they're going to activate some additional attack and defense, extra key as well. They also, for example, will have crit chances if the enemy is sealed or stunned. And the nice thing about them is their link set really assists this. So they've got 5 links activated now, which is pretty good. And if we look at their defense, it's pretty solid, in the 130s, which is good. They can have growth on their link set as well, which we'll talk about just now. But 136,000, they will gain an additional attack and defense of 40% because Pycon is currently in attack or defense down status, which is good. They do have 20% attack and defense buff from the Buu and Hercule unit, but for the most part, it's not that big a buff. So 136k, very good. We should see that raise to just above 170k, 170, 180. They do have some support from the Dabura, of course, but for the most part, they're looking pretty solid. We'll see their attack stat now, but I anticipate it to be pretty high, 4.5 million. Very, very good. So the big thing about these guys is twofold. So the main thing is obviously the attack and defense status down. You don't even need units to attack beforehand, because 2 of their links, Fear and Faith, which reduces all enemies' defense once it gets to level 2 and beyond, and I believe it's not Brutal Beatdown, it's Master of Magic, also reduces all enemies' defense by 10%. Obviously, starting from level 2, it will begin reducing defense. So just having them paired up and having Master of Magic or Fear and Faith active, which is their main key link, so you should have it active, essentially means that their full condition of their passive is active, which is incredible. Because basically it means that you're going to pretty much have that active the entire time, which is really, really great. So something that is super duper important and super good for them. Here we've got them again. They've got pretty much every link active. They've got Legendary Power active now, which is really, really good for them. You can see the defense has dropped down slightly. Obviously, we don't have that support anymore, but we should still see a fairly good attack stat from them. I've put them under their 18 key just so you can see how the 3 key will add into their passive the moment that they attack the enemy. So they'll gain the 3 key and they'll have their 18 key. There we go. 4 million attack stat as well. Very, very good. So in terms of links, they've got Master of Magic, which is a very strong link. They've got Margin Resurrection Plan, which gives them a lot of defense. Once it's link leveled up, it gives them 20% defense, which is very, very good. They have Thirst for Conquest, which is really, really powerful and can give them 15% defense. Brutal Beatdown gives them an extra 5% attack. Nightmare gives them extra 5% attack. Fear and Faith, obviously, as mentioned before, gives all enemies minus 10% defense, and Legendary Power gives them 5% attack. So they do have some room to grow in terms of, you know, their like attack stat, but mainly their defense stat has a huge room to grow, with 35% to gain from their, you know, like link set. It's pretty damn powerful. Obviously, the Margin Resurrection Plan they only really share with Dabura, so it is something you do have to be careful of, but for the most part they're looking really, really solid. 129,000 defense, which is fantastic, and really exceptional for them, and yeah, they're going to obviously increase that because the enemy is still in attack and defense down, because with Dabura and with the Boo and Babidi unit, they share Fear and Faith. They share those links that lower the enemy's defense, and Dabura himself lowers enemy defense as well anyway. So a very, very solid unit. And we'll see what kind of attack stat they can put out here. This is probably close to their perfect situation. It's probably their perfect situation at this point, just in terms of what you can expect to see from them. Obviously link leveled as well would also help, but we're not too concerned about that. Just having the enemy sealed would be great. We didn't get that, unfortunately, but 4.9 million, very, very good. Super duper solid attack stat, and very, very high numbers. Their defense is going to be sitting at a very, very high point. Remember, they also have the ability to seal on their 12 key, and they have a 50% stun chance on their 24 key. So, or the 18 key, I should say. So they have quite a bit of utility to bring to the table, which is very, very good. So yeah, for me, honestly, super duper impressed with these guys. Very, very happy with how they performed. And I think if you do have the battlefield currency, they are a helpful unit. They're good on Joined Forces, they are good on Terrifying Conquerors, and they are good on Majin Buu Saga. And they do have a great free-to-play pairing partner, so there's really no downside to them, barring their limitations in terms of category. But even then, they at least have a natural free-to-play running partner to find for all of those categories. And yeah, really, really good. So we'll get one last look at them. Very, very solid performance. Again, we'll see the 3 key pick in, 121,000 defense. So defensively, they're fine. You must remember that the buff that they gain on Super is a lot larger than it first appears. The 40% attack and defense is quite high in terms of buff because it's on Super. So their defense can rise up a lot higher than just being a flat 40% buff, just based on how the calculations and everything work. So they will be sitting well above 170, 180k after they Super, as long as the enemy is in attack down or defense down, which, as I've mentioned before, is literally always active with their link set, which is something that's very, very important. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We'll take a look at their link set, but we have spoken about it quite a bit. Yeah, there's no real need to kind of like farm out or look out for any other unit. Their link set is pretty good across the board. So yeah, a pretty solid link set. Obviously not very diverse. They don't lend themselves to linking with, you know, a wide range of units, but the units that they do link really well with give them quite a big array of links and power from their links. So yeah, realistically speaking, very, very good units. Again, yeah, the major links being Fear and Faith, Thirst for Conquest also will be a very strong link. Just being solid ground pieces. Fear and Faith you kind of want because it'll activate their full passive. Also is one of their few key links that they have, even though they do get a lot of key from their passive. And Thirst for Conquest is just a good all-around kind of link, giving attack and defense of 15%. It's just ideally solid. There's also good options like this Strength, Frieza and King Cold and Mecha Frieza unit, who is also a battlefield currency unit, so also a very, very solid battlefield currency unit to link them with. And they're on Terrifying Conquerors, they're on Joined Forces, so yeah, pretty decent option for them. Obviously speaking, Nightmare is also another decent link, but then it starts to close things off a little bit. The crossover Dabura is also pretty strong here, but again, another unit that is only with them on one team, Terrifying Conquerors, but still a relatively solid and decent option for which you can kind of rotate them with. As a unit, I think they are best as a floating unit. I do think it just suits them the best. Generally speaking, on a Majin Buu Saga team, they can give their buff to quite a few units. It's just going to depend on how you build the team, but you can at least give their buff to a lot of units, which means building them on a Majin Buu Saga team that has Majin Buu power units is going to be best. But that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.